Thank you for the opportunity to share with you how we can help you migrate to IP with confidence. NVT have designed robust enterprise-grade data switches that makes IP migration quick, easy, and cost-effective. Let's start by understanding the typical camera topology. The analog camera is connected via coax cable back to the DVR. The big challenge is how we connect the IP camera to the NVR that is typically over 300 feet away. This is where costs, risks, and complexity arises. New cabling, power, backup power and cooling, and all the IDF data closets to support the introduction of PoE switches, planning and professional services costs. With many customers, LAN requirements are more costly than the new IP surveillance solution. It is this barrier that is stopping many customers from gaining the benefits of IP. Not anymore. The award-winning 24-port NVT CLEER switch and EC10 switches were designed to eliminate these barriers and allow customers to confidently migrate to IP cameras with ease. The switches deliver 100 megabits full duplex with PoE Plus with over 2,000 feet or 600 meter reach. They can enable any IEEE compliant device. Let's take a closer look at the 24-port CLEER switch. At every endpoint you would have the EC link that supports the IP endpoint. The enterprise-grade NVT CLEER switch has 24 downlink ports, each able to deliver 100 megabits full duplex with PoE Plus to an IEEE compliant device. There is a management and console port for local access into the industry-leading management GUI interface. Two 1 gigabit Ethernet ports and two 1 gigabit fiber ports for campus-like deployments. CLEER comes standard with PowerWise technology, a power budget of 500 watts at 110 volts and 1,000 watts at 220 volts. There is an optional 1,600 watt power supply available. Power supply is also hot swappable. You can use either AC or DC power source. You can stack up to 4 switches together to create redundancy and power sharing. And you can remotely manage the power for each port. No more truck rolls. Now let's look at how the switch makes your IP migration quick and easy. The typical analog camera deployment would have a DVR connected to the analog camera via coax cable with many endpoints going way beyond the 300-foot reach of traditional data switches. With CLEER, the migration to IP is simple. Step 1. Racking and stacking the CLEER switch and connecting the uplink port directly into the NVR or consolidating switch for larger deployments. Step 2. Connect the existing coax infrastructure into the downlink ports of the CLEER switch, and last, at the camera end, connect the coax to the EC link adapter and RJ45 cable to the IP device. Ethernet and PoE is being delivered to the IP endpoint from the CLEER switch that can be over 2,000 feet away. Deployment is complete. It's that simple. No IDF data closet requirements. No disruptions. Just a simple, risk-free, and graceful way to migrate to IP. This diagram shows a larger deployment. At the IP endpoint device, you have the EC link that is 1-to-1, or the EC4, which is 1 in and 4 Ethernet out for multiple IP endpoint deployments from one coax cable input. In addition to the CLEER switch delivering up to 30 watts of power to the IP endpoint, the EC link and EC4 can be locally powered to deliver 100 watts of power to the endpoints. The reach from the EC link adapter to the camera is the standard 300-foot Ethernet reach. The PoE available at the endpoint will vary depending on type of cable and distance. No other Ethernet over coax switch can deliver this combination of power, reach, and high speeds. PoE was the most important part of IP camera deployment. If the power fails, the camera goes dead. The NVT CLEER switch comes standard with industry-leading power capabilities. You can stack up to 4 switches together, creating a powerful redundant backbone. If one power supply fails, the other 3 in the stack support the power requirements of the failed unit. In addition, the power supply is hot swappable, meaning in the event of a unit to fail, you can simply remove the existing power supply and replace it with a new one. For flexibility, you can use AC or DC power for the switch. The CLEER switch is an enterprise-grade switch, including many of the features expected from customers wanting a robust IP platform. Delivering 100 megabits per port, which is symmetrical full duplex, supporting HD, megapixel, and other applications. Over 2,000 foot or 609 meter reach on a coax cable, eliminating the need for IDF closet costs with a point-to-point topology. 500 watt, 1000 watt, or an optional 1600 watt hot swappable power sharing, load balancing, AC/DC in the same chassis. So power redundancy and flexibility for whatever your needs are. 2 gigabit copper, 2 gigabit fiber uplink ports. Increasing those speeds includes spanning tree for redundancy. A dedicated management and console port, which increases security and allows a physical separation for a management network. Layer 2 management features, things like SNMP, LLDP, VLANs, no need for additional switching hardware. Remote switch management, eliminate truck rolls, immediate response, you can manage the switch remotely. Power control by port, you can recycle or turn on or off a port. Again, eliminating truck rolls, you can remotely reset the ports if they're stuck. Port locking for higher security, you can lock a particular MAC address to a particular port, which increases security and eliminates access to the network from unauthorized devices. Detailed port statistics for easy troubleshooting, allows you to improve response times. Supports any 802.3AF or AT compliant device, creating that IP backbone that's ideal for IP devices. And there's an intuitive web GUI which simplifies management, easy to onboard and train your staff. The web GUI interface was designed to be intuitive, easy to learn, and easy to use. This is the landing page. Hover over the port and you get valuable port information. You can see a summary of power being used and available. You can view uptime, port description, and much more valuable information right from the landing page. The downlink ports page makes port management simple. You can turn the power on and off by port or universal port capabilities. You can see individual port details, including the type of packets being transmitted. You get a summary of all ports, and you can lock down the port, meaning that no other device, other than the one that connected, will work. This greatly enhances security. Let's look at some of the key customer benefits. First of all, you're in control of your IP camera migration. You can move from partially deployed with high-value cameras being migrated to full IP on your terms, to full migration as the budget becomes available. Customers are realizing over 70% in infrastructure savings. The larger the deployment, the greater the savings, given LAN complexities. You'll also have better PoE port utilization, given all the switches are in one location versus distributed throughout the building. More savings means you can allocate more of your budget to applications and better cameras that will drive a better return on investment. No business or network disruption by leveraging the existing proven coax infrastructure to create a separate network for your IP cameras. Eliminate risk by completing an easy real-world proof of concept. And given you're leveraging an existing infrastructure, you can avoid many of the unknowns associated with a rip and replace LAN installation. Create a separate robust LAN in line with industry best practices that is easy to configure, install, troubleshoot, and manage. Also, the CLEER switch comes standard with an easy-to-use, intuitive web GUI interface. By utilizing the CLEER switch, we eliminate risks and infrastructure barriers. We shorten your deployment cycles. We drive a better return on investment for the customer. And we deliver a robust platform that is in line with industry best practices.